Atari introduces the Woman of the Year, Ms. Pac-Man. With a style of entertainment that Pac-Man never knew, an endless supply of floating goodies, oranges, pretzels, 4 different screens, each with different exits and entrances, and the green screen so difficult to reach, you may never see it again.
Don't you know I'm more than Pac-Man with a bow?
Reach for Ms. Pac-Man.
Storytelling is a practice that predates writing, and in its earliest form, stories were told verbally. As the art of storytelling evolved, so has the medium and the technology used, and as they become more and more popular, we begin to see a lot of them overlap. A part of a story is successful or elicits a favorable response, so we use them more often. This is where tropes start to form.
Congratulations, you just got your first slow-motion entrance.
One of the newest forms of storytelling is video games, and when stories are told, tropes keep coming up. Stereotypes such as the damsel in distress and the white knight are among a few typical roles in video games. The most common example of this is Princess Peach and Mario in the Super Mario Bros. Series. Princess Peach keeps getting caught by Bowser and Mario has to save her. Women are often shown as weak and in need of help, and men are often shown as overly masculine or macho. Some would point their fingers towards hegemonic masculinity or hypermasculinity, because they're pushing the idea that a masculine man and a subordinate woman are the norm.
Badass quitter, badass attitude!
This also shows the cultivation effect, as it's portraying their idea of their social reality in their games. For centuries, women have been shown in subordinate roles in media. Those in game development have grown up seeing these portrayals and believed it to be normal, so it continues in a cycle. Apart from this, much like any other form of media, sex also sells. Games get marketed with sexy women on their cover. But gender stereotyping isn't all there is to the portrayals in games, as Tracy Dietz found in a study on violence and gender roles in video games. The most common portrayal of women is a complete absence of them, an example of symbolic annihilation. In her analysis of 33 Nintendo and Sega titles, she found that there were no female characters in more than 40% of them. A different study in 2001 showed that out of 874 characters in 70 different games, 73% were male and 12% were female. It also found that when female characters did show up, they were generally seen as holding secondary roles. This is mainly due to the hegemonic power structure of the gaming industry. Video games are a heavily male-dominated industry, as shown in this study by the International Game Developers Association. They found that in 2014, over 76% of game developers were male, less than 22% were female, and 2% were transgender or androgynous. Despite this, recently we've begun to see a larger growth of diversity in games. A prime example of this is Ellie from The Last of Us. While early in the game Ellie seems weak, she grows stronger, more mature, and more confident as the game progresses. Lara Croft from Tomb Raider was a game changer for being one of the few games to feature an exclusively female protagonist. Overwatch revealed that their popular character Tracer is a lesbian. All this shows that the gaming industry is changing, albeit very slowly. Game development is still dominated by men, but the number of women in the industry is on the rise. And according to a study by the Entertainment Software Association, there are 2 times more adult female gamers than there are young male gamers. While gaming is still a male-dominated industry with mostly male developers, the percentage of women is still double what it was a few years prior. Under the idea of reflection hypothesis, we can see a shift in audience and cultural values, but we also continue to see much of the same issues in modern titles. Society is growing more liberal, but culture lag still exists. Even if the general public wants more diversity, the guys up top want to stick to what's safe. They're slowly dipping their toes in to test the water to see if it makes money, because of course, what is the media industry without its money? And if we want to see a more drastic change, we gotta show it with our wallets.